Let's face it guys, most people have no idea how to manage their finances. Add investments into the mix and most people are clueless and they are tripping over their own feet. Now this is likely why 3/4 of those who start investing lose money in the first 2 years. But it doesn't have to be this way anymore, and I'm going to show you exactly how. Now I've personally completely streamlined the way that I invest and the way that I track my portfolio, and you should too. So welcome into this video guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Joe from Financially Savvy, and in this video over the next few minutes I'm going to be giving you a full rundown, deep dive, demonstration and review of my favorite new investing platform, Snowball Analytics. Now I want to start by saying that simply calling Snowball Analytics an investment platform is really underselling it, because the information it provides, the insights it provides you with, the time it saves you, I could go on. Honestly, it's staggering. But honestly, the biggest reason that I and many other investors that I know with huge portfolios love this platform so much is because it's simplifying the way that you manage your investments and track your portfolio. And for someone like me who runs his own business, the biggest benefit of all is that it saves me time. And I can't emphasize enough how important and how grateful I am that I have found this platform. And the reason for that is, as you'll know, if you've been watching these videos or following me on any of my other platforms for any amount of time, you'll know that I always tell people that you should automate as much of your investment process and strategy and contributions in every element of your investment process as much as humanly and technologically possible. And the thing is, the fact is that Snowball, this platform that you can see behind me, is doing this better than anything else out there. I'm going to explain a little bit more about why this is and why I love it so much, and then I'm going to dive into the platform that you can see behind me. I'm going to give you a demonstration, show you how to get set up and be on your way to simplifying your investing journey. So as we know, investing over the last kind of like decade or so has become more accessible than ever. Along the way though, it's also become more complicated than ever because we have more options of things to invest in than ever before. No more can you just like buy some stocks, right? You can buy stocks, you can trade stocks, you can invest in Forex, you can trade options, you can buy cryptocurrencies, you can invest in real estate and art and just about anything else via an app on your phone. And this is great, right? We've got loads of tools for building wealth. However, when it comes to the layperson, the non-professional investor, it's becoming increasingly complicated to manage your portfolio, keep tabs on where you are, and see where you're at on your journey towards your end goal, if you've even gone through the process of mapping that out, which most people haven't. So if you're anything like me, you probably have at least 4, maybe 5+ different apps for not only just buying stocks, but also investing in any other asset that you have out there, such as crypto or anything else, as well as apps for managing and tracking and keeping up to date and getting news and insights, right, about all of this stuff that you're investing in. In my case, I have 5 different apps and platforms that I'm using to invest my money in different assets. So I've got my pension account, which is with Aegon. I've got an ISA with Freetrade, as well as a general investment account with Freetrade. These are in the UK. I have an alternative assets investment fund that I invest into with Head and Over. And I also invest in art via Masterworks. And this isn't including the various apps and platforms I use for getting insights and updates, such as Prospero or Seeking Alpha or any of those other ones that I use. So as you can imagine, getting a clear snapshot of all of those investments together to see my entire investment portfolio across all of these different assets, I mean, it's impossible, right? I used to spend 2 hours plus every month just trying to put the different information I could get from these different apps into one spreadsheet that I built myself to roughly work out what my profit and loss was, what my average returns might be, and mainly just to see what my allocation share across those different asset types was, as I'd set myself targets for each one to make sure that I didn't go over those and that I kept a balanced asset allocation across my portfolio. Keeping on top of that was driving me insane. Luckily, I then came across Snowball Analytics and now everything is automated. All I have to do is link my accounts and it does everything else for me. And honestly, that is just the tip of the iceberg, as you'll see in a second. So without further ado, let's dive into this platform that I know you're dying to see behind me, and I'll show you how to get started and set up. Okay guys, welcome into the Snowball dashboard. So obviously I've already kind of started setting up my portfolio through this platform. So I'm like 85% of the way there. So what I'm going to do is basically show you how to add your accounts. So once you log in, you'll be met with this screen. Obviously the overall kind of total net worth tab for you will probably be empty because you've not added anything yet. So the first thing you want to do is add a portfolio. So what I've done, rather than having all of my accounts in just one window, I've set them up as different accounts within Snowball, so that Snowball then takes a snapshot of everything all together and groups it into this My Net Worth tab. Now it's obviously not my total net worth because it doesn't include my real estate assets and things like that, but it gives you a nice overview of what your total value of your, stock market investments, alternative asset investments, crypto investments, that kind of thing. Basically everything you can link through it, right? So it's really helpful for that. So once you're in here, you want to add a portfolio. Simply click add a portfolio, give it a name. So maybe this is your IRA or your taxable brokerage account or your ISA if you're in the UK, whatever it is. So you can call it taxable brokerage, for example. Maybe your default currency is US dollars. So let's just go with that. Now you want to decide what your goal is. And this is great because Snowball will use this information as well as the information you provide it once it's linked with your portfolio to show you if you are on track, off track, or what you need to do to get back on track and things like that. So it's awesome. So if you've got a value, for example, maybe you need 1.5 million to be able to stop working and retire, or maybe you're a dividend investor and you're investing for passive income, in which case maybe you want passive income of $100,000 a year, right? So let's just say $100,000 a year gives you $8,333 per month in passive income. Hit next, and then simply connect your brokerage, or you do have the option to upload brokerage statements or enter holdings. So for most people, there are literally hundreds of brokerages that you can connect. So most people will just find them through this. You can see there's a list here. If you search, you've got Robinhood, Fidelity, M1 Finance, Charles Schwab. You can search for anything else in here. For example, I use Free Trade, so Free Trade is there. Let's see what else they've got. Maybe they've got Webull as well. Trading 212 is another one in the UK. There we go, they've got that as well. So you can see pretty much everything is there. So you're going to be covered. Select the account that you want to connect, and it will link via the API with that app, which basically is a posh way of saying they've got a relationship with all of these brokerages through what they call here, they got Yodlee or Snaptrade, and it basically just means they can see what you've bought and sold so that they can show you the data behind that, but they can't actually do anything in your investment account. They can't buy, sell, or use your cash or anything like that. It's just purely a watching kind of authorization, right? They can only view it. So once you've linked it, click complete, it'll all load up, and then you'll basically see what I can see here. So for example, if I select my ISA, it's going to give me a breakdown of everything that is within this account. Now, I am one of the few exceptions who cannot actually link my brokerage directly. So it basically doesn't update automatically, right? So what I have to do is I have to come in here and say I was adding the portfolio from new, my portfolio, whatever it's called. I will show you what happens. So when I go into this, I select Free Trade, and what it's saying is that it cannot just link directly with it. Otherwise it would just connect automatically. So I just have to go to my app, just download my activity as a CSV. It's literally just the only button when I go to my activity feed. It works the same in any app. Go to your activity feed, select export as CSV, and then save that onto your computer, send it to yourself, email it to yourself, whatever you need to do, and then simply drag and drop that file into this section and click complete, and it will automatically upload everything from all of your activity for however long you've had your account for into your account. So I go to my ISA, you can see that it's linked everything for me, and there were a couple of errors where it was like it can't pick up a buy or sell price for a couple of my positions, so I need to contact support just to get that sorted because it's currently reflecting my average return and things like that incorrectly. But otherwise, it's still giving me a huge amount of information. And obviously for most of you watching this, you will have a portfolio or a brokerage account provider that is automatically linked and does automatically sync. So I am an exception to the rule. I still love the platform regardless, and I just want to make that clear. So you can see here it's telling me what my top gainers were for the day, what my top losers were for the day, as well as recent upcoming events. This is really important for me right now because we're currently going through earnings season for Q3 of 2023, and it is telling me when Airbnb earnings are, when Roku earnings are, when Mercado Libre earnings are, and all of this stuff. So I can look into this, I can add it to my calendar, I know when it's happening, I can dial into those calls if I want to, or I know when to catch up on them. It's telling me what I really love here to say. This is great. So now, so I used to have to log in and search for the individual stocks that I owned to look in the news for what was going on with those stocks to make sure I wasn't missing anything important, right? Snowball gives it all to me in this dashboard. So they're telling me what the latest news and articles are about all of the stocks that I own, but also you see in these little green or yellow bubbles here, it's telling me if the news is mostly positive or mostly negative. So obviously what I would use this for is if I'm seeing news come up which is repeatedly mostly negative about a stock, then I know I need to do a bit of digging to understand what's behind that. On the other hand, if it's mostly positive, I don't need to worry so much, or maybe I want to look into that if there's a lot of great news to inform a decision about potentially buying more of that stock. Next up, we've got future payments and dividends received. Now, this isn't such a big deal for me because I'm not a dividend investor, but I know a lot of dividend investors who love this platform and this particular feature because it basically creates a dividend calendar for you, which is awesome. So you can see I do receive some dividends from some stocks just by way of owning a few different things, but I'm not a dividend investor. So you can use this strategically to map out your monthly dividend income, which is really cool. Okay, so I'm just going to go back here, and then it also obviously maps out your dividends received. So obviously you want to see this chart going up. So then it's also tracking dividend growth over the last 3 years as well. So you can see 2021, 2022, and 2023. It's telling me what my dividends were for those years versus this year. And then the last bit on this dashboard is another feature I really love. So you can set your target here. So my value target, for instance, here is 1.25 million for this particular account. So I can update this in real time for you because I haven't done this yet. Okay, my total deposits are around 1,600 a month in this particular account. Average profitability, I'm actually averaging higher than 9% right now, but let's go with that. Now what it's telling me is with my additions, I'm going to hit my portfolio goal in 2044. With just dividend reinvestments, this is when I'll hit it in that purple line, and with no additions, that's when I'll hit it in the orange line. So this is really great, obviously, and you can change this for either value or an income goal as well if you're a dividend investor. So really cool. Now, like I mentioned at the start of this video, one of the main things that I really love about Snowball is it gives me the ability to see my portfolio allocation percentages and my split between different asset types all in one place, rather than taking everything from 5 or 6 different apps and putting it into one spreadsheet and having to update it manually every month. All I do is link my accounts or upload my activity feed like I mentioned, and it works it all out for me, which is awesome. Now I'm going to show you a few little tips and tricks on how to use this window as well. So you can see here, this is everything in my net worth dashboard that's got everything, well, almost everything from my portfolios as far as I've got so far. You can see my allocation in different percentages along this far right part of the screen here. Now, let's say I wanted to see a further breakdown of this information technology piece of my portfolio, which is currently 11.77% of my exposure. If I click on that, you can see that it does a really nice breakdown of what makes up that 10% of my entire portfolio. So this is the percentages of all of the technology stocks that I own and how they make up that overall 10% of my entire portfolio. Now you can actually set your categories automatically. So if you click on this portfolio button, it will just go back as well. Currently, the categories are set up based on like market sectors. So for instance, you've got industrials, healthcare, financials, energy, etc. Now you can actually set these categories manually, which I will be doing. So if you go to this portfolio tab, go to categories, everything will load up and you can create categories from scratch. So you can do this with target allocations, and then once you do that, the platform will notify you when you go above that allocation percentage. So let's say that you set yourself an allocation percentage of 50% for ETFs or funds or whatever it is, right? And say your funds do really well and it goes up to 65%. It's going to tell you that you've gone way over, and then you can use the other tools and things within Snowball to help you work out what you need to sell or buy more of in order to rebalance your portfolio. So it basically eliminates a lot of the guesswork for you and gives you a systematic way of keeping a balanced portfolio allocation across your entire portfolio. Now, let's say that you want to see the performance of a particular account within your entire portfolio, right? So currently we are within the My Net Worth dashboard, which is the overview of everything. Let's see what the performance of my ISA is for this year. So we're going to select it from the drop down up here, like I've just done. We're going to go into Analytics up here. We're going to go to Growth over here. You can see there's loads of information you can get from this. I'm just touching literally the tip of the iceberg. And what it's going to do is it's going to show you, so this is currently showing year to date. So my portfolio, which is the blue line versus the performance of the NASDAQ, okay? And it also shows you the period of time that you've actually been invested for as well, which is really, really cool. So you can see that actually versus the NASDAQ, my portfolio is ahead of the NASDAQ by 3%. You can select the index or the fund, whatever it is that you want to compare to. Let's see how I'm doing versus the S&P 500 for this year. So I'm leading the S&P 500 in my portfolio by 18.45%, which is really cool. And let's see, for instance, let's see how I stack up against Cathie Wood and her ARK Innovation Fund. So again, yeah, giving Cathie Wood a run for her money as well, which is nice to see for little old me. So my portfolio is ahead of Cathie Wood's ARK fund by 15.91% since the beginning of this year as well. So another really, really great tool. You can see there's a metrics tab as well. There is a dividends tab. This is all just giving you a plethora of information about anything you could want to know about your portfolio. The important thing is to not get bogged down in all the details. I would recommend just signing up for an account, which you can do. I'll leave the link below so you can do so, and just start uploading your documents, right? Use the platform for what you need to use it for in a way that's going to benefit you, right? You don't need to log into this every single day and get, torn up with all the information that's going on in here, but you can use it to help you, to inform you, to help you make informed decisions about your finances, set goals, track your progress against those goals, and ensure that you stay on track and actually achieve them on time. And that's the power of this tool. It is unbelievable. The last thing I'm going to show you is this dividends tab. Now, like I mentioned, I am not a dividend investor, so I don't really worry too much about this. However, if you are, this is awesome, okay? So what it's going to do is it's going to give you a breakdown of your yield, your payout for all of your different stocks, okay? It's going to give you a dividend rating for each of your stocks and basically ranks them out of 100. So to tell you how reliable they are, okay? So it's going to tell you how much you've got invested, what your annual dividends are, and how reliable that dividend is. So, and then it also gives you little notifications here as well. So saying rating calculation based on incomplete information. The company is likely to be doing a little better. We recommend you check this company on your own. So again, it's giving you a nice little alert there that you should look into things just in case there's something that they're missing. And then you can go right down here and you can see this LGen 1, maybe the dividend rating's not so great on this one. So something for you to go and look into, and again, make an informed decision about what you want to do about that particular holding. It's going to give you information here that you probably couldn't and wouldn't figure out on your own. And that's what I love about this platform. So next up, we've got average annual growth of your dividends for each of your stocks. You can see here United Health have grown their dividend by an average rate of around 16%, which is incredible. Danaher are at 11%, Microsoft are at 10%. So all really, really great stuff to see. You can see what your future payments are likely to be, what your dividends received has been, your dividends received again, but by stock rather than by month, and then your overall dividend growth down the bottom. So if you're a dividend investor, you really need this platform. If you're any other kind of investor, you also really need this platform. Like I said, Snowball is doing all of this stuff better than literally anything else that I have seen, and I've looked for something like Snowball for a very long time and been approached by companies who are trying to do this kind of thing and just aren't quite up, well, they're nowhere near up to scratch compared to this. So I'm going to end the screen share here. Let's summarize this video. Okay, so what are my thoughts and feelings about Snowball Analytics? Well, in case it wasn't obvious already, I really like it. Why? Because it's giving me insights and control over my portfolio that I never had before, or that I had to piecemeal together across 5 or 6 different platforms and 3 other different news and insights platforms. And I was scrambling around. I no longer have to do that. I can track everything in there and it gives me all of the news and insights I need to see about my stocks, rather than me trying to fight through the weeds to find the needle in a haystack article about my particular company that I'm invested in. How can it help you? Well, for all of the reasons that I've already given, but in addition to that, it's going to help you build wealth easier and faster. And this is because by tracking and measuring your portfolio in this kind of detail and being able to see everything that Snowball gives you, you're going to be able to make more informed decisions about what to do with your investments, with your accounts, with your money. And when you make decisions based on actual data and information, that decision is likely to be a better decision than just winging it. It's also going to help you build out your goal and help you stay on track with your goal and notify you if you veer away from achieving your goal, so that you can pivot and adjust your plans to get you back on track. Ultimately, you'll hear me say this 1,000 times, but what gets measured gets managed. Now, there's a bunch more stuff I'd love to show you about this platform, but the video would end up being about 4 hours long. So the best thing you can do is go and sign up, use the link in the description below, and go make an account, link your investment accounts, and just give it a go yourself. Ultimately, it's going to help you build, track, and manage your investment portfolio better than you've ever managed to do so before. You also get a 14-day free trial when you use the link below, and 10% off your membership once it kicks in. Now, if you found this video helpful and informative and you'd like to see more, please make sure you subscribe to the channel and also hit the thumbs up on this video. It would really help the channel out big time, and I'd massively appreciate it. Also, don't forget to share this video with anyone who you also think could benefit from using Snowball. And last of all, if you've got any questions about Snowball or anything else personal finance or investment related, please comment below and I'll get back to every single comment that I see on this video. Until the next one, take care, guys.